Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene once again made a fool of herself, responding to the firing of Tucker Carlson. Side note, I'm really tired of talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I know some of y'all are too. She's just in the news constantly, and 4 stories, it seems, a day come out about her absolutely bonkers statements. So here's another one of them. As a congresswoman of the United States of America, she doesn't seem to know what the First Amendment means. Rather unfortunate. Here is this moment.
Single company in China. Congresswoman, big news of the week, Fox fired Tucker Carlson. Fox has gone left. They've gone woke. We're clearly calling them out for it. Tucker is a great voice for conservatives across the country. He doesn't have the platform anymore. Will you weigh in on Fox's decision?
By the way, if you're a right-winger and you use woke like that, you call Fox News woke, you're just admitting that that word means nothing. It's just a random filler word for bad.
Decision to fire probably one of the more conservative voices, most important voices in America.
Absolutely. I think it was devastating to our First Amendment, Eric. I see it as a very serious problem. Our First Amendment is free speech, but it's also freedom of press. And when a gigantic media company like Fox News fires their number one, Tucker Carlson, not for him doing anything wrong, not because his ratings were bad, but they literally fired him because they caved to the woke mob. What we're seeing the end of the First Amendment. That's how I see it. I can't see it any other way. We've seen censorship out of control. We saw the federal government, Department of Homeland Security, align with big tech to censor Americans for several years now on political issues because they weren't speaking the speech that was the chosen speech to say. Well, neither was Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson was pushing the limit every single night on his show.
Okay, so for the sake of Marjorie Taylor Greene, let's go through this. The First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America is written as follows. Congress shall make no law respecting... Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. That has to do with the government. Congress shall make no law, not Fox News shall make no hiring or firing decision. They do the same thing with Twitter. Twitter violated my First Amendment because they suspended my account or something. When in reality, it would be the government infringing on freedom of speech rights, the First Amendment, more to tell Twitter, a private company, what they have to do with the accounts that are on their platform, saying you have to keep this account on or have to keep it off or take it off. That would be more of a violation of the First Amendment than a private company making decisions about who is allowed to use their platform. It reminds me of kind of how she uses this, how she references the First Amendment. It reminds me of that person we've all interacted with who in like 5th grade learned a couple trivia facts and then brings them up every 5 seconds forever. There are 2 trivia facts they always go back to, no matter what the subject is, no matter how relevant. You're talking about what you had for dinner, okay? Oh, my dinner was great. And then they go, dinner, interesting. That fuels your brain. And interesting fact about the brain, a majority of the brain is actually made up of fat. I know things. And I did look up that fact, by the way, for this segment. For that example. A majority of the brain is fat. Interesting. I always pictured it being like a muscle. But that's how Marjorie Greene is with the First Amendment. Except her fact is wrong. But she feels like she has this one little nugget she can use to show how she knows things. And she learned one time in 5th grade that the First Amendment has something to do with speech. And now every time anything happens that is remotely in relation to anything that has to do with speech that she doesn't like, boom, violation of the First Amendment, because she knows things. Same thing with the Second Amendment. She read the conservative Cliff Notes version of the Constitution and learned First Amendment means you can't get canceled on Twitter. Second Amendment means you can have whatever gun you like right when you want it, no regulations, no matter how many children die. So no, by the way, Tucker Carlson being fired is not a violation of the First Amendment. A private company does indeed have the right to fire an employee, unless, of course, it's on the basis of race or something. Especially when that employee is calling female executives the C word, costing the company millions in lawsuits and much, much more. But don't let the facts get in the way of a good time, Marjorie.